recording. Now we're recording to the cloud. All right. Hey everyone, welcome to another round of the Tuesday Morning Uke Club. So today we're going to work on our chords. We're going to play our common chord progression, going from C to A minor to F to G7, and work on the fluidity of our movement between the chords and developing the muscle memory to help us move those between those chords. Then we'll work on our minor chords and our sevenths. And then we're going to play Somewhere Over the Rainbow today. And so we'll have all the chord knowledge we need in order to play that song. We'll also work on our right-hand strumming because that one uses a Calypso island strum, which is iconic for that song, okay? So before we get started, we always start with our stretch. So let's just let's see. There's been so much rain, my hands are kind of locked up a little bit with all the dampness in the Pacific Northwest here. So let's go. So spread, thumbs, touch, index finger, touch, middle finger, touch, ring finger, pinky, stretch back, and pinky again, ring finger, middle finger, index finger, and we're good. Shake it out. What I always say, you cannot play with either hand. You can't play if your hand is welded tight to your wrist. You have to have lots of flex, all right? Okay, good. And in previous sessions, we've worked on tuning. And so this is a good time. You should make sure you tune before you come to the Uke Club, but just make sure whether you're using, ooh, my tuner turns green when my strings are in tune. Oh, that E string is often dodgy. And there we go. So remember, my dog has fleas. That's the built-in song of our uke. And you should be getting a sound like that if you're tuned. All right. So whether you're using a headstock tuner or an app on your phone, make sure you're using it. All right. Okay, here we go. So we're going to work on some chords, and I may bring up the chord chart in a second, but we're going to talk about what's called a chord progression. All right. So we're going to, in the past, we've played individual chords and worked on the fingering for those. But I'm going to give you an exercise so you can practice moving. There's a really nice exercise where you can go through a progression, moving from chord to chord in a standardized way that really only requires one finger. Oh, in one case, two fingers, but it's a nice additive process where you only move one finger at a time. And these are the four iconic chords that you need to know for songs that are written in the key of C for ukulele. So C, the C major chord, A minor, F, and the G7th chord. And if you can move between those chords with your eyes closed, that's kind of the mark of, have you got the muscle memory? Can you move between them with your eyes closed? Then you know you've got them. And so much of the ukulele song repertoire is open to you after you can do that, okay? It's a bit of a jump, moving from having the fluidity to move. You can make that chord, but can you do it with your eyes closed, right? By not having to worry about where your fingers are going, it allows you to focus on the words if you're singing, or listening to other musicians who are around you if you're playing in a sing-along. Okay, so I will put the chord chart up briefly, and we'll go through our basic chords, right? Sometimes it's just easier. But I expect you guys have seen chord charts. You probably, actually I should put it up. Everyone have a chord chart in front of you? Do you have chord charts in front of you? Yeah, that should be the expectation. I'll put them up, but in the future, then I'll sort of say, hey, yeah, Rick, nice work. You've got that. I will put it up for this time, and we'll go through our basic ones. But then for some of the others, we'll just talk through it. So I'm going to share content. And hold on just a second. Ukulele. And where's my chord chart? Where's my chord chart? My chord chart is right here. All right, sweet. Courtesy of Soundsmith ukuleles. Okay, remember, here's our C chord. This is the first chord that everyone learns. So I'm gonna put the spotlight up. Spotlight is so handy on Zoom. And this is the only string we're pressing down. We're taking our third finger, remember, finger 1, 2, 3. So our ring finger of our left hand, and that's pressing down at the 3rd fret of the 1st string. First string is the string farthest away from your chin if you are a right-handed ukulele player. Okay. Remember your thumb. Your thumb should be riding, from previous sessions, your thumb should be riding that invisible line going down the back of the neck of your ukulele. And here we go. So here's the C. All right. And just remember that the 3 clear dots here means that those strings are played open. We're not pressing anywhere on those strings. Okay. And we were going to do, let's see, where's A? Oh, here's A minor. This is what we want right here. A minor, another single finger chord. And this one, our second finger is pressing at the 2nd fret of the 4th string. And the 4th string, ironically, is the one closest to your chin. And that's where it sounds. It's a sad sounding chord. Remember, major chords, happy sounding. Sad chords are the minor chords. And you know a chord is a minor if it's got a lowercase m after it. Okay? All right. And let's go back. What's our next one? Next one is going to be the F major chord. Oh, good grief. There we go. F major. Here's F major. Go. All right. We should be pretty good. This takes a little while to. We're pressing in 2 places where the red dot is. First finger is at the 1st fret of the 2nd string. And then your 2nd finger, or your middle finger of your left hand, all right, is going to be at the 2nd fret of the 4th string. 3rd string is open, and mysteriously there is no open symbol on the 1st string, but that string is open, right? So when reading chord charts, if there's no O, clear O there, it's safe to assume that's going to be open, right? But usually a chord chart will be pretty explicit. And there's F. All right, and our next chord is a 7th chord. Here we go. G7. All right, so let's look at this one. All right, your first finger is going to be at the 1st fret of the 2nd string. Your 2nd finger is going to be at the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. And your 3rd finger is going to be at the 2nd fret of the 1st string, and the 4th string closest to your chin is open. All right, there we go. All right, now I'm going to, is anyone else coming in? No, Tyler might be connecting in later on. Okay, here we go. Let's put this back. So now, we have our those 4 iconic chords: C major, A minor, all right, F, and G7. All right. Our thumb is on the back of the neck of the ukulele. All right. And remember, the reason we do that is that giving us a little bit of ability to have a hinge with our wrist allows us to shift our hand forward if necessary to press more directly on our strings, or to allow us to shift laterally a little bit. So for example, that G7th chord, kind of nice to be able to just push your hand a little bit to the left to give your ring finger, your 3rd finger, just a little more space to drop in on that 1st string at the 2nd fret. Okay, and there we go. So now we have those chords, and now we want to start practicing developing some facility on to fluidly be able to move between a chord. So we're going to play a chord progression. The chord progression we're going to play is C, A minor, F, G7. And we just repeat that over time. So you can do that. It's a nice sounding chord progression. It'll sound familiar to you guys. It's used in lots of songs. And then you can just practice and you can work on your right hand strumming while you keep moving between those, or if you're not going to play a particular song. So here we go. So we're just going to do, the strum is going to be right hand thumb strum. We're just going to be super basic. And we're just going to we'll take our thumb, we're going to go across the strings, all right? Not at an angle, all right? We're going to go across the strings, make sure you follow through, make sure every string is activated. Okay, here we go. C chord, A minor, F, G7. So did you feel how simple that there's a transition that you can follow? Did you feel that? So you start on C, and you've got the neck on 2 points. You've got with your 3rd finger, and you're holding your thumb, You're going to draw your middle finger over, press down at the 2nd fret, 4th string. So you never have the feeling that you're going to drop the neck of the uke, all right? You're always going to keep a little bit of pressure. And now, going from A minor to F, you're taking your 1st finger and dropping it down at the 1st fret of the 2nd string. So it's just adding 1 finger gives you F. And to move to G7, keep your 1st finger in place and take those 2nd and 3rd fingers and drop them down on either side at the 2nd fret of the 1st and 3rd strings. And there we go, you have G7. And now we go back to C, all right? So you're always keeping a little bit of pressure. There's always a bit of a pinch or grip that's happening. You don't want to clench the neck of your uke, but you want to, you know, there's going to be a chord, for example, like the A minor 7, which is the My Dog Has Fleas chord, where you're not going to be touching this area. And so you should, you know, the neck can just ride on the top of your side of your hand like this. So you're never in danger of dropping the instrument. But if you're right hand, you want to be making sure you're coming over the instrument, over the top right, and holding on your chest. Not so tight that it's going to give you, press so hard against you, but in theory, sort of like your center line, the sound hole of your uke should be thought of as going down the center line of your foot. Okay, all right. So let's do this chord progression. We're going to go slow, and then we're going to speed up, and then we'll do some different chords, and then we will get into our song of the day. All right. So let's go C, A minor, F, G7. Are you getting good tone? All right. C, A minor, F, G7. Now let's switch things up a little bit from our strumming, all right? So now we're going to use our 1-finger strum. We're going to do just downstroke with the front of our 1st finger, all right? So notice a different sound, all right? Hard nail, all right? So this sounds almost like a pick, all right? As opposed to the mellow downstroke from our thumb. So here we go. So we're going to go 1, all right? Let's do 4 strokes, 4 downstrokes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then A minor. All right, you want no hand drama. All right, no hand drama. Keep your hands quiet as you're moving between the chords. No flying fingers. Keep some pressure with your thumb. Don't feel like you're dropping the neck. So right now in C major, you're holding onto the neck in 2 places. 3rd finger and your thumb. We're moving our middle finger over, pressing down the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and we're still holding on with 2 fingers. Now we're dropping our 1st finger for F. Now we're holding with 3 fingers. And as we shift to G7, we're still holding now with 2 fingers, and we're going to drop our 2nd and 3rd fingers on either side of that 1st at the 2nd fret of the 1st and 3rd strings. There we go. All right. So now we're going to go back to C. And so 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. Going to pick up speed a little bit. All right, now we're going to change our strum a little bit. Now we're going to do an 8th note strum. Okay, the 8th note strum, using either side of our 1st finger. Downstroke is going to be our fingernail. Upstroke is going to be the fleshy side of our finger. All right, so it's going to be, the way we're going to count it, there will be a downstroke and an upstroke in every beat. So we'll count this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. All right. Rick, I can only see your thumb as you're coming up from your upstroke, but it looks like you're doing a follow through. Yeah. But remember what we talked about, not having your hands locked together, right? So what you want to have is follow through. A follow through means there's going to be some rotational energy, all right? And you follow through, and I'd like you, when we're practicing going slow, I'd like to be able to see the top. You should be able to see the top of your hand as you follow through. All right. All right. You don't have to change your cameras, but this is good. So when you're going slow, you're rotating. It's like a rotation through your wrist, okay? And if you have sort of like, you know, if you have some repetitive stress or RSI injuries or something like that, you may be a little bit limited as to how much rotation you can do, but the chords, the shuffling, doing the strum is not so much about pushing your forearm through the uke. It's more, it's coming from the wrist, okay? 1, so play as you're comfortable. 1, okay, so now we're going to do the 1, and we're going to do the down and up strokes, okay? So here's goes. 1 and 2 and 3, and so fall through on both the downstroke and the upstroke. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now we're going to go to A minor. Get ready? A minor. All right. Now we're getting ready to go to F major. Drop that first finger down. Now you're in F. Good, good. And G7. Back to G. G, back to C. Okay. So a lot of folks, some people have a hard time sort of saying, I feel like I'm dropping my uke. And it's sort of, it's a, you know, some people have a strap, but you should not rely on a strap, right? I was wearing a strap on this uke for some time, and I'm not wearing a strap as much. And it's about sort of how do you, you know, think about practice how you're cradling the instrument. And I tell you, wearing a strap does, if you're playing for a longer time, having a strap does make it's more comfortable. Your upper arms will get tired. So having a strap just makes it a little bit easier to just take the weight off your arms. But never trust the connection points of the straps. They're pretty secure. That it's unlikely it's going to come off the the screws are going to come out of the body of your uke. But it's just, you know, you'll really be sad. You'll really be very sad if the strap comes off these points and your uke falls. So even if you're wearing a strap, always try to be practicing good hand position and supporting your instrument. And Craig actually, his uke doesn't have the end pins. So if you have a uke that has some electronics, it has like a preamp and a little pickup in it, it will for sure have an end pin, because that's where the 1/4-inch jack for putting your signal out to an amplifier or a PA or something like that will be. All right, here we go. Okay, so this is good. Let's do this one more time. Now we're going to pick up the speed a little bit. So we'll go down, 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 A minor, 3, 4, F, 1, 2, 3, 4, G7, 2, 3, 4, C, 2 and 3 and 4, and A minor, 2 and 3 and F. All right, good, good, good. All right, this is good, very good. So you should be thinking about establishing a rhythm with your right hand. So when you're doing that, it's sort of, you don't want to be going slow and slow, but you know, and it may be a little bit slow to get a rhythm while you're still working out where your left hand fingers are going. But we want to get to a point where you have a rhythm where it's one, you're clapping time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and your strumming is essentially creating that rhythm and supporting that rhythm. You are the rhythm section. If you're at a camp out and you're playing the uke for people, you are the harmony, and you're also the rhythm section. So you want to think of your hand, that strumming hand, being like a machine. You want to get it to a machine-like state where you're not really having to think about very much what it's doing. Okay. And then that is going to depend on you work on your chords, so that as you're strumming, you're feeding that strumming machine with your chords at the right time. Okay, so let's take on some new chords. Or we've played some of these minor chords and seventh chords. We're going to go through them fast, and then we'll get into our song. How are we doing time? We're about, yeah, this is pretty good. So I'm going to bring up the chord chart. I think it would help to bring up the chord. There's a few fingerings where I want to do this, but in the future we won't bring the chord chart up except for absolutely brand new chords. Okay, so here comes the chord chart again. There it is. All right. So I want to do, we're going to do some minor chords. And here we go. First one, C minor. All right. So for a lot of folks, this is the one that, this is not too hard to play. Where you see the three dots, oops, that's not right, the color I want to use. Let's do maybe yellow. And okay, and let's do the highlighter. Here we go. All right, so your first finger is going to be a bar, okay? We call it a bar, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our first finger and move it across and press down at the 3rd fret of the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd strings, all right? Your thumb is going to be on the other side of your finger. And so you're doing there's a finger press, there's like a pincher. And you want to have, essentially it's going to be the first knuckle of your first finger that's going to be pressing down across those 3 strings. And you can play the C minor chord then just by pressing and leaving the 4th string open. All right? If you need to, and a lot of people will do this, is take your middle finger, and there's no reason why you can't take your middle finger, just drop it down on top of your of the first finger, just to allow you to do a little bit more of a press, all right? Because you want to have even pressure across all 3 of those strings so that there are no thuds or buzzes as you play across them, okay? So here you go. If you play enough minor chords, you may find that the middle of your hand hurts a little bit because it's going to use some new muscles. So there's that. A lot of people will play the C minor chord in a different way also. You can make a different voicing that's very popular by taking your ring finger and dropping it down at the 5th fret of the 4th string instead of the open string. So the way I'm doing it right now, I have my first finger across the 3rd fret of 1st and 2nd, 3rd strings. My second finger is pressing down a little bit extra on that first finger. My 3rd finger is reaching over and pressing at the 5th fret of the 4th string. And that's a different voicing, all right? As opposed to this one. It still sounds similar, all right? It's a different voicing. The benefit of using your 3rd finger like that is that what it does is it takes away this open string. I'm going to see if I can do my spotlight again. Can I do my spotlight? Come on, spotlight. Here we go. So there's that open string, all right? So if by using our 3rd finger and pressing here at the 5th fret, suddenly, without the open string, this chord becomes movable. We can move it anywhere on the neck. So for example, here's a C minor if you are starting at the 3rd fret. If you drop it down to the 2nd fret, that becomes a B minor, all right? If you move it up to the 5th fret, that becomes a D minor. All right, so you have, it's by taking away the open string, it gives you the ability to expand more of the real estate of your ukulele's neck, okay? All right, so let's take a look. Oh, I think I'm gonna need to use my eraser to kind of take some of that up. Okay, here we go. Okay, cool. E minor, we'll need this chord for Somewhere Over the Rainbow, right? So your first fret, your first finger is gonna be at the 2nd fret of the 1st string, 2nd finger at the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and 3rd finger at the 4th fret of the 3rd string, and the bottom string is open, or 4th string is open. And there we go, that's it. All right. D minor, so we saw the closed version, or like the no open strings version of the D minor chord, but let's see if they've got, yeah, this is one that a lot of people use, though. I like the sound of this one. So this is D minor. Your first finger, this kind of looks like the F chord, except you're going to take your 3rd finger and drop it down. Get my spotlight going again. So remember, if you just use these 2, if you press here and here, that's the F major chord. But here, take your 3rd finger and drop it down at the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Play the 1st string open, and that's D minor. It's a beauty. It's a nice sounding chord. So contrast this D minor with the closed position chord we played here. They're very different sounding D minors. They're both D minor, but they have it's a different voicing, a different tonality. And for most of our ukuleles, using this chord with its open string is likely to sound better. Right? I recommend everyone use open strings wherever possible, just to really maximize the resonance of your instrument. Okay. Get rid of spotlight, and let's quickly go. We're going to do some seventh chords. All right. All right. Our first seventh chord, C7. All right. Remember that C major is our third finger, is at the third fret of the first string. But if we take our first finger and move it to the first fret, that's a seventh, C7. All right. Where's another one for us? E7th. Well, maybe we should do, where's A7th? Oh, there it is right beside us. And you know what? I have an easier way to play it. You can play A7, just press there. Press at the first fret of the third string. And I think that's a superior sounding A7 because it uses 3 open strings. This version is valid, but it's just a different voicing. And you may find that's a good option depending on what other chords you're playing. But this, in my experience, that's a nice sounding chord. Just use one finger. Just use one finger. Keep it simple. All right, E7. Here is one where you're going to use several fingers, and it's worth it. It's a beauty. It's a beauty. All right. So first finger is going to be at the first fret of the 4th string. Second finger is going to be at the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Second string is open, and your third finger is going to be at the 2nd fret of the 1st string. Sounds like this. There we go. It's a nice one. Okay, we'll play that and somewhere over the rainbow too. Next one, again, so I've got a couple of variations on D7th here for you. So a lot of people will play this 7th chord because it is a movable chord. So your first finger, just like with the C, do you remember with the C minor? Now where's my highlighter? So once again, we're using a bar shape. Our first finger is going to reach over and we're going to press down, pincher style, and press down the 2nd fret of the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings. All right. You want to concentrate on getting the pressure down so that you're really pressing down 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then here you're going to take your, I think a lot of people will take their 2nd finger and press down at the 3rd fret of the 1st string. That's a C there, but that's part of the D7th chord. All right. So you'll want to take your thumb and press on the opposite side of the bar that you've made with your first finger. So the nice thing about this C7 or this D7, as I said, it's a movable chord. Since it doesn't use any open strings, it's movable. But I have a suggestion for you. I think that pressing on the 4th string with your 2nd finger and then pressing at the 2nd string at the 2nd fret with your 3rd finger and leaving the 3rd and 1st strings open. So you're just going to press on 2 places. I think it's a superior sounding chord. All right. So I use this one more often than I use the chord that's written here. All right. So what we've gone through, there's for every chord, there are numerous places to play it on the neck of the neck of the ukulele. And every different place, it's called a voicing. All right. And so the longer you play, the more voicings of different chords you'll add to your player's toolbox. And sometimes you'll just feel great to be able to use a different voicing of a chord or in an unexpected place. Okay. Sometimes different voicing complements a vocal line or maybe another instrument, right? And but in general, when you're starting out, focus on the voicings of chords that use the most open strings. For most of our ukes, it'll sound better. Okay, now let's take some of our new knowledge and let's work on. Oh, you know what? Before we do Somewhere Over the Rainbow, we should work. We didn't do the island strum, the Calypso strum last time. Just take a minute and let's go through. You remember why don't we just start with the C major chord, and maybe we'll go through our progression, our C major, A minor, F, and G7. and we're going to do our island Calypso strum. In the island Calypso strum, we've done this one before. Let's do a reminder. It's going to be down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. You might see this one written out as D, D, U, U, D, U, sort of on arrangements, or you'll have like arrows that show you where the strum is. Sometimes it's just easier to feel it than it is to count it. Okay, so it's going to be down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. Go slow, and I got to gradually get faster. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up. All right, get ready. We're going to go to A minor. A minor. F. G7. C. A minor. F. G7. Back to C. A minor coming up. F. G7. All right. I think we're ready to tackle the big song. Okay, here we go. So yeah, when you're practicing that chord progression, that's a really pretty chord progression. Practice it. Use all your strums. Right. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to put up an arrangement for Somewhere Over the Rainbow. It has the Bruddah Iz, Israel K. I can't pronounce his last name, but Bruddah Iz, his arrangement that has a mashup of Somewhere Over the Rainbow and It's a Wonderful World. And I'll put an arrangement up that I downloaded and edited a little bit from ultimateguitar.com. So if you're looking for arrangements, that's another website you can go to and search for. They have a uke section. You can search for chords and tabs on how to play a lot of different songs. Okay, so here we go. And all right, I think this is the one we'll want to use here. Okay, so we'll start. So I should show you, like on the internet, there's a variety of different, you can find many different arrangements of songs. And if you're looking at a small screen, this is not going to be the easiest, okay? Some arrangements are easier, and some arrangements, you know, if you go online, you can expand the font size for when you're printing. But maybe what I'll do is I'll show you another example of an arrangement that comes from Uke Society's songbook on ukesociety.com. And let me show you an example of another way that it's been written up, just so you can see some different examples. So the Uke Society has their own idea, all right? And so often they'll have their chords along one side, and they've got some standardization for strumming, okay? And so we could use this one as well, okay? So the arrangement is, the one I played the intro. Okay, I'll play a little bit of the song, and then we'll get into how we're all going to play it together. All right, so it's going to go. Okay, so the intro is starting with C, E minor, A minor, F, C, A minor. Over the rainbow, way up high, the dreams that you dream of once in a lullaby. Ooh. All right, So let's put things back a little bit. So I'm going to take the arrangement. I'm going to take the arrangement off for a second so I can see people's faces as I'm talking through. So you can play this using the island strum, and for most of it, so if you can do the island strums, do it. But whenever you do a play along, all right, you go to a strum along, there should be no uke player left behind. So when you see a chord chart, all right, then you can, if all you do at a play along is you do a thumb, just a downstroke every time the chord changes. So like somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. All right. So if you're at a strum, and as long as you know your C, E minor, A minor, and F chords, then as long as you are playing that chord at the right time, as simple as you need to make it, then you're contributing to the play along. Okay. Because the uke is not the story, it's the words and the melody are the star of that show, right? And so don't play what you can, okay? But this is a good one, sort of to play this. That Calypso strumming is iconic, all right? So we want to get there. Let's put the song back up. And I guess we'll put the Uke Society one, because when I expand it in Zoom, it looks pretty good. Okay, so now we're going to, let's start with the intro. And if I were to make this a little smaller, then we can get some of the What a Wonderful World piece that's at the third verse. Okay, so the intro. All right, so remember, before I get into the intro, we'll just start. All right, down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Okay, get ready to start. E minor, A minor, F, C major, E minor, F. Now we're starting at the ooh. Okay, so maybe I should put the spotlight on so you can see where we're at. So we did the intro. Now we're going to be right here. Okay, here. Island strum. Ooh, ooh, C chord, F chord. Ooh, ooh. Now we're starting the first verse. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, and the dreams that you dream of once in a lullaby. So one of the nice things about this arrangement, you see lots of dashes, and so it's the words are written out pretty phonetically, so that it gives you a better chance of matching the strum with the words, and the chords change at the syllable at the word that's mentioned here. So like, for example, C is going to be somewhere, and you shift to E minor at over the rainbow. F is all by itself, way up high, back to C on the word high, and then and the dreams that you dream of once in a lullaby. All right, so now I'm going to move the song up. Where were we? Okay, so we did first verse. Now we're going to go to second verse. Get ready. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, birds fly, and the dreams that you dream of, dreams really do come true. Ooh, someday I'll wish upon a star, so wake up where the... I'm switching rhythms. I'm not sure if that's quite right. But anyways, this is the way it's going to go. Someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, oh, where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney tops, that's where you'll find me. So this is asking for the island strum. And so if you're not going to use island strum, you're going to want to use your downstroke. So downstroke here. Someday I'll wish upon a star. Switch to G. Wake up where the clouds are far behind me. Oh. And then the line, where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney tops, that's where, A minor, you'll find me. Let's try it one more time. Someday I'll wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Oh, me, oh, where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney top, that's where you'll find me. All right, so you can do a single downstroke wherever the chord changes, or you can do a one, just kind of stay in time with the beat. You can say, because if you had 3 different uke players here, one's playing the chord, all right, and the other person's going 1, 2, 3, 4 downstrokes, and the other person's doing the Calypso strum, all 3 of those uke players, they're playing, will meld together in a way that makes complete sense, all right? So, someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, oh, where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney tops, that's where you'll find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly down, down, up, and the dreams that you dare to, oh why can't I? Ooh, somewhere over the rainbow, birds fly, and the dreams that you dared to, oh why can't I? Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, birds fly, and the dreams that you dared to, oh why can't I? And do that last verse one more time. Well, actually, let's go back to the 3rd verse where the wonderful world is. Someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me. Oh, there's F. Now back to C. Where trouble melts like lemon drops, G chord, high above the chimney tops, that's where, there's A minor, you'll find me. And last verse. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. F, now F. And the dreams that you dare to, oh why can't I? And then F, and we'll finish on C. There you go. All right. Cool. I'm going to take the page off here. And there we go. Like I said, it's kind of like whenever, if you're going to be, now it's sort of like that song is like the iconic ukulele song. And it's an intermediate level song to sort of, if you're going to do the whole, the Calypso, Strum, etc. And it throws a lot of chords, and sometimes the chords come fast and hard. But it's worth working on. But if you're playing with others, you work on your chord knowledge, and you play at your pace, and everyone under even the progression is iconic. Everyone knows what's happening when you play, as long as you're playing the correct chords. Right? All right. Thanks for another session of the Tuesday Morning Uke Club, everyone. Oh, the happy faces out there. Everyone's looking so happy. Doesn't playing the uke for an hour make you feel so good? It makes you feel so happy. Hopefully, if you're a hand sore, everyone's hand sore, shake it out, and wait 10 minutes, and you'll be ready to play again. Okay. So I'm going to unmute everybody, and here we go. So let's see if I can unmute. Can I unmute everybody? Oh, first I'm going to turn off the recording.